Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and in this video, we're going to conduct a sea trial and performance evaluation of a brand new launch from Ocean Alexander, the 27E. She's the first of the builder's much anticipated Explorer series and is well suited for an owner with a large family or one who wants to offset the ownership experience by chartering her out. Let's get right into it, starting at the helm. The helm is ahead and to starboard on the Sky Lounge deck. It clearly shows elements of Evan K. Marshall's design stylings with an elevated panel housing three 24-inch multifunction displays on an elevated and adjustable panel. There are dual VHFs, dual engine readouts, and a large compass. Just behind is the autopilot. Alongside are the engine controls, the thruster controls, the stabilizer controls with zero-speed stabilization, and the stainless steel wheel is vertically mounted. Visibility is excellent through large double windshields, and I'm happy to see defrost vents. There are two helm seats and an observer's seat. Each is electrically controlled for full adjustability. They include flip armrests, bolsters, and footrests. The captain's seat includes controls at the armrest. To port is a captain's desk. After the Sky Lounge, there's a removable ladder for servicing the antenna array. To both quarters of the main deck, there are large stainless rollers ahead of a warping winch and large bollards. Below are controls for the crane and the winch foot control. The same mooring equipment is to the opposite side, except this side has the balcony controls for the platform deck, as well as a wired remote for the submersible deck. Notice the large custom-made deck drains. As we head to the bow, the side decks are 21 inches wide. Overhead protection is 7 foot 1 inch and comes out 24 inches. Notice the bulwarks drop down to improve the visibility from the salon. There's one and only one 13-inch pull-up midship cleat, and a yacht of this size really could use two, if not three. As we continue past the salon windows, the bulwarks now rise to 41 inches. Now let's inspect the ground tackle. It begins with large rollers, heavy-duty bollards, foot controls, a chain stopper is alongside an ultra-windlass, and it feeds to the road locker beneath. All this is repeated to the opposite side, of course, and it's all on an elevated platform with raised edges to keep the deck clean. Looking over the side, I can see how the anchors are stored into the bow in stainless receivers and scuff plates. The door to the crew's quarters is to the port side deck. Stairs leading down have an Octoplex touchscreen controlling the boat's electrical switching and monitoring screens, all duplicated at the helm multifunction displays. The crew space starts with the galley. The microwave is above the sink, cooktop, and storage. A 32-inch TV is across from the dinette that includes an expandable table. The crew stateroom includes over-under berths. A laundry is just outside, and a refrigerator is beneath. A watertight door leads to the lazarette with stairs to the boat deck. Behind those steps is clear access to the steering gear, and then we have the captain's cabin with a single berth, TV, and work desk. Ahead is the entrance to the engine room. Firstly, there's plenty of room to work here. Main engines are 1600 horsepower MAN V10s, a departure from Ocean Alexander's usual MTU or Cat power. Ceiling height is 6 feet 10 inches, and there's 33 inches between the rails. Behind the port engine is the Blackwater treatment system just over the tank, and there's a power takeoff for the hydraulics just above. The exhaust is huge and well supported. And then there's the 4 reverse cycle air conditioning systems right under the Delta T engine room exhaust vent. Below is the first 32 kW generator. Ahead of that is the fixed firefighting system and the remote breakers for the Octoplex touchpad electrical switching. This is against one of the 4 fuel tanks, this being one of the 2 mains that gravity feeds to one of the 2 day tanks. Sight tubes show level at a glance. Below is the filter and pump for the fuel polishing system. Tucked way behind, we can see the first of the stabilizer fins. To the forward bulkhead, we can see the blue inverter, the 2 black MAN engine controls, and the fuel filters at the bottom. And notice the clearly laid out fuel system schematic right above the manifold system. To starboard is the second fuel tank, the second stabilizer fin, and second firefighting system. Then 2 more air handlers, and the second 32 kW generator. And there's no automatic switching between the two. One can handle the complete onboard load, so you start up whichever has the lowest hours. At the back of the starboard engine is the hydraulics for the side power thrusters. the second PTO, and the independent motor for the zero-speed stabilization, since the main engines won't typically be running. Alongside are the transformers ensuring clear power for the vessel systems. At the entrance are the main battery switches. By exiting the crew door on the side deck and continuing forward to the galley side door, the 27E allows for a separation of the crew and guests. At the deck outside the guest quarters is a hatch leading to the single plumbing room housing all of the plumbing for the accommodations level. The hot water heaters, expansion tanks, and the water manifolds are all located here. When it came time to get underway, I used a wired remote from the aft deck to hold us in position while the crew untied the lines, and it worked flawlessly. It also allowed me to walk back and forth to get a full view of both sides as we pulled out. She's heavy, so the thrusters will move her, not shove her. There are no hard and fast maneuvers at the dock, just as it should be. They'll also be nice when battling crosswind maneuvers, as they're hydraulic, so go ahead and stand on them if need be. Once clear of the dock, I simply went up to the helm and took control there. The Ocean Alexander 27E has a length overall of 88 feet 9 inches, a beam of 20 feet 7 inches, and a draft of 3 feet 9 inches. With an empty weight of 221,365 pounds, 58% fuel, 72% water, and 3 people on board, we had an estimated test weight of 233,350 pounds. With flat calm conditions and the twin man engines run up to 2350 RPM, our speed topped out at 22.3 knots. There really was no best cruise setting, as the distance is more of a factor when setting the throttles, but that said, my hand seemed to settle on 1750 to 2000 RPM more often than not. At those speeds, she burned from 70.1 to 111.3 gallons per hour and had a range from 394.4 to 305 nautical miles. If distance is the goal, drop her down to 1,000 RPM and 8.5 knots. There, the 13.3 gallon per hour fuel burn translates to a range of 1,260.6 nautical miles, all while still holding back a 10% reserve of the boat's 2,186 gallon total fuel capacity. Once underway, she's remarkably responsive to the helm, so there must be huge rudders on this boat to provide that low-speed responsiveness. It's quite comfortable, especially in tight areas. At a cruise setting of 2200 RPM, she'll take 22 seconds to come around 180 degrees, and she feels like she's standing still while doing so. The steering is stiff, so there are no power turns, and it's not like we want that anyway. The boat is about comfort and distance cruising, so the wheel is more of an afterthought for maneuvering around the departure or destination locations. The controls on the armrest will then become your best friend. She's quite heavy, so it takes a lot to break that comfort feel that she seems to excel in. Back at the marina and back on the remote, I hardly used the thrusters to swing us around for a stern-to docking. The engines provide more than enough authority to make that a non-event. One engine against the other provided all the handling necessary, and then it was just a matter of backing us in. It's here I also found that she steers nicely in reverse, with one engine or the other pulling the stern in the direction you want to go. This is a remarkably easy boat to handle. Since this may be a dream boat for an owner-operator, Ocean Alexander thought of just about everything in terms of redundancy to make each and every trip an enjoyable one. She does have crew quarters and a nice separation between the crew and guests, so she'll be well suited for the charter set. Either way, when spending time on this yacht, it's as much about the journey as the destination. And before leaving the dock, it's clear to see that you've already arrived. And that's my full test and performance evaluation of the all-new 27E from Ocean Alexander. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.